There, Buckfast Super Bee again. And, oh yeah. Saturday, April 30th, 2016 at the Casbah. Tickets are still available.
Yes, they are.
You can get them online. Welcome to episode 9 of the Vespa Motorsport podcast, sponsored by ScooterWest.com. I'm Alex Kahn, and next to me is...
Kevin Leestrom. Still needs a haircut, still needs a shave.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you the guys the quick disclaimer, and we'll get into it, because we got a really great guest tonight, and we're just really excited to talk to him about all things scootering. All right, the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the individual guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Vespa Motorsport ScooterWest.com.
There we go. Let's see if Kevin Fahy can kind of push the envelope there a little bit.
Let's see what he can do.
Upcoming events. We mentioned this last time, the Scooter Squadron here in town. They actually have weekly rides all the time. They're on www.meetup.com/sd-scooters. And you can go check it out. They join it. I don't think there's usually any cost for anything. You kind of show up casually to rides. There's no memberships or anything, so it's pretty fun if you're looking for people to ride around with in San Diego.
One thing.
Be
Be cool. Be cool.
Be cool.
Yeah, just be cool. Don't be lame.
Well, I think most people on scooters are cool, so I don't think we have to worry about that. Most people.
Most.
And the other thing is Vespa 2016.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up. We'll have a little more on that, but that's in Memphis this year. June 23rd to the 16th. Or 23rd to the 26th, 2016.
There we go.
And
there it is.
So that's...
let's get into it.
So hey. This is going to be our special Scooter History 101, actually. This episode touches on mods in the 60s, and our very special guest, Kevin Fahy.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. It's the rest of them.
Tell me about it.
So Kevin actually grew up in England, 50s, 60s. He was actually a mod in the 60s proper. He lives here in San Diego. He's been here 40 years now, and has a little collection of scooters: Lambretta, new Vespa, Elite 250. He has a good little range of stuff. And
let's get into it.
We've known him, I think, since 2010. He kind of helped us move down here to our new shop here. And
our time is up. Thank you so much, Kevin. Have yourself a great night. All right, that'll do it for this.
So let's just start off growing up in England and stuff, even schoolboy days and things like that. I
grew up after World War II, and everything was short. We still had strawberry jam that was made out of turnips and grass seed and red number 6 dye.
Oh, people pay extra for that now.
Right. Nobody had any money, so nobody had a car unless it was made before World War II.
Right.
And then in 56 we had a gas shortage, so nobody had any gas. So if you could buy a motor scooter, and I was 16 in 1958, so I got my scooter license.
Right.
And the first scooter I got was an LI Series 1 Lambretta, and I got it when it was 10 months old, and I got it off a friend, so it wasn't expensive. And he really wanted to unload it because he had money, but his mother told him that he couldn't buy another one until he got rid of the old one, so I got it. I've forgotten how much I paid for it, but it was a really good price. It was £70 or something, and I think that was 2.8 pounds to the dollar back then.
Back then, yeah.
And I tuned it up and rode it. And gradually, over time, there wasn't any big kits you could get. I think the first kits came out, a couple of shops in London started producing the Wildcat, which had an extra port bored into the barrel, all done by hand. So I made a Sprinter later on, and I was working in a factory, and I'm a welder, a sheet metal guy, so I knew how to take a Bultaco barrel.
Yeah. Right.
And alter that, and I got a head off I think it was off a Yamaha, some kind of Japanese bike, because it had a hemispherical head inside. Okay. And then I put it on the lathe and turned most of the fins off it to get it inside the cowling.
Right.
And I had a platinum plug that I had to very small it was, so I had to sleeve the plug hole and rethread it.
Right.
It actually came off a Merlin engine from a Rolls-Royce V12 out of a Lancaster bomber from World War II. But you could buy all that scrap stuff there, And most tuning was stage one, increase the compression, either shorten up the barrel or skim the head,
Right.
Put a better plug in. There wasn't any better gas to buy. We could just buy one kind of gas. And
Petrol, you called it.
yeah, petrol. And the same same oil you put in your engine was used in your gasoline. It was just 30 weights, and you kind of wound it out on a...
I remember some of the older men, they said like castor oil or something, but I don't know if that's...
You could buy Castrol, but most of us didn't have any money.
Right.
I remember guys...
So you just get 30 weight.
Yeah, 30 weight.
Which are foul plugs like crazy.
Mostly Castrol, though, you're right.
Yeah.
And it does tend to foul plugs. It's very smoky.
Right. And that's running 5% or something, or 6.
I think we were running 6% at the time.
Yeah. Right.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot of oil.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That's James Bond smokescreen action there. Yeah.
Before the LI Series 1, the earlier bikes, which I now have but didn't have back then, was the LDs, and mostly beatniks rode those up until the early 60s, and they always wore black jeans and black. They all wanted to be Kerouac,
Right, but there was kind of more a beatnik movement before one of the mods.
And they rode very drab scooters, and there was no helmet law.
Oh, yeah.
But in the mid-60s, like 64, the mod thing started, and it was primarily a fashion movement, but at least 10% of mods rode motor scooters, and since they wore two-piece suits and ties and nice coloured shirts and real short hair, you get wet all the time in Britain.
Right.
So somebody found the Parker thing, and everybody bought up these American Arctic Parkers.
Right.
And pretty sure there was a shortage of those after a couple of years.
Yeah, right.
But me and my girlfriend had blue ones. We knew an American Air Force guy.
Okay, right.
And he got us these blue Arctic Parkers with wolf fur around the edge.
Cool.
Very cool, yeah.
Right.
And winkle picker shoes, and we used to go camping. And the first accessory I got was a rack. And
this is still the Series 1 Lambretta you had? Or
yes, this is the LI Series 1.
Yeah, okay.
Later on, I had I got a headset off a Series 2 and put it on that bike.
Oh, okay.
Later
so
on,
it had 2 headlights then?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. That's pretty rad.
Yeah. A little trimming involved. And I did other various things. I made a backrest for the rack that I had. Actually cut it off an old office chair and welded it on. And then a friend of mine worked in a chrome shop next door to the factory I worked in. He chromed it for me.
Yeah. So your stuff was like highly customized then, really.
And I used to go on scooter rides, not with a club, but with a group of guys. I never joined a club.
But there was scooter clubs back then.
There were,
then.
There was 2 in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And I don't like that frat boy attitude they have. You got to do this, and you got to be a reservist for a year and all that stuff. Had enough of that. Went to grammar school. So anyway, that was my first scooter, LI Series 1. And later on, I got a Series 2. And then when I got more money, I think I was a bartender at the time, not working sheet metal.
Yeah.
And I built a sprint bike. And back then, Ancelotti was doing his stuff. Right. And every month in Scooter Magazine, which was a kind of combined scooter and, as I recall, motorcycle magazine. And one month he'd shorten the headstock 4 inches. The next time he'd do some other thing, some engine modification. So as soon as something new came out, we did that. Right. And essentially it was all stage 1 tuning.
Right. So, and all kind of done by hand. There wasn't really much you'd buy off the shelf.
No.
It was all,
No. The first expansion box exhaust I had, I made. Right. And there wasn't any books on tuning that I can recall. So I got a formula for making one of those out of a scootering magazine. And it was an article about a German scooter, the Sundap Bella.
Sundap Bella,
okay,
right.
So I followed this thing, and essentially, other than the piping, it was a central tube with 2 cones on the end.
Right.
And I rolled all that up at work and welded them up, and I left the end off, the final tube.
Right.
So when I got it on the bike and got it fitted and made a flange, and I was running an AMAL carb on a homemade inlet manifold. And you could rev this thing, and all of a sudden it wouldn't rev anymore. So my friend said on the rear cone, cut 1/8 of an inch off, which will enlarge the hole, which it did. Then I got more revs, and finally I cut another 1/8 off, and it was perfect.
Finding that power band,
Right.
But like exhaust manufacturing, the science of it was still experimental,
I suppose. It came from making silenced guns, psionics.
Right.
And then I rolled up a piece of tube, the diameter of the hole, which was 2 inches just about, and welded that on, and it was done. And it ran for the longest time. Yeah. But you could hear it 2 blocks
Oh,
away.
yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Loud pipes save lives.
Right. Yeah, they do, kind of, if you're awake.
Did you ever get harassed by the bobbies at all or anything, or police?
No. When we went on rides, though, since now you go on a ride now, and it's who's got the biggest kit, and he's a mile in front
way
of you.
ahead, yeah.
Back then, everybody rode at about 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And there was usually the smallest group I ever went on was 50, so it's quite a number of people.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And once in a while, the cops in the city would escort you till you got out in the country, and then you'd ride from village to village down little country roads where it's not good to ride fast. The only freeway we had at the time was the M1, which went from Birmingham to London.
But part of the fun was riding in the group anyhow, not taking off and
going to some country,
hanging out with all your mates.
Country pub.
Right.
And then in smaller groups, 2 or 3 of my friends with their girlfriends, we would go to some seaside resort on a weekend.
Yeah,
and,
like Brighton.
No, that was too far for me.
No, I don't.
I used to go east or west, that's south.
Okay.
And I actually had a camping stove. Since I worked in the factory, I made a big suitcase and put 2 gas jets in it that you could remotely attach a bottle to. So my buddy would carry the bottle on his rack, and I would carry this, and I made it the right size to fit on the back, and we would open it up and get a 3-foot flame out of it. So we didn't need a fire. You could turn it down and cook on it, or you could stand around it. You know?
Right.
Sorry about
that.
Yeah. Anyway, we had a lot of camping, and it was always wet, so we'd find some farm about half a mile from the beach, and go to the farm and ostensibly buy some milk and some eggs, and then say to the farmer, look, we need somewhere to camp.
Yeah, is it okay if we sit up on the end of the field here?
And he'd say, go about half a mile down, there's a little wood, you can park on the edge of there, and you can light a fire, just remember to close all the gates, or the cows wander off,
Yeah, okay, wow.
And that's what we used to do.
Yeah. No insurance waivers, no.
They didn't ask you to sign any disclaimers or anything?
Sign your life away, no. And actually I rode till the mid-60s. I got married, and my then pregnant girlfriend is now pushing me off further forward on my scooter. And one day I went down a country lane it looked like it had been raining, and it looked like it was just wet, but it was actually 4 inches of water, and I hit that at about 30 miles an hour and got in a wheel wobble.
Wow, yeah.
And I couldn't get out of that wheel wobble until I actually ended up cutting the engine and frightened the life out of my pregnant girlfriend, who said, that's it, we're getting a Mini.
Yeah.
So I did keep the scooter right up till 69 when I left, and I had my Sprinter. And at the time I built the Sprinter, I was welding in a factory, so I would just stay over in the evening and do welding. And we made small vehicles that run inside factories, so they were gas-powered. But anyway, the thing is, we had a big paint booth and only 2 colors, International Harvester Yellow and International Harvester Orange. So I painted my Sprinter bright canary yellow.
Oh, yeah, okay. Kind of like the Elite 250.
Kind of, just like the Tweety bike. Yeah, we call that one the Mad Canary.
Right. And then this was a Sprinter. It was out of a Series 2 originally?
It was a Series 1 frame.
Series 1 frame. And was it stretched a little bit or something? Or no?
Yeah, I stretched it 3 inches. And I cut the headstock down.
Right. So it's kind of proper Sprinter like they even have nowadays. You see the Scootering magazine and stuff. And well,
I was going to put clip-on handlebars on it, but I got scared of getting that central piece up my face, if I went over the top, which I'd already done and broke my wrists. So now, after that, I learned to lay the bike down.
Were you actually doing any competition with this at all?
No,
like any races or anything?
No.
So it's just street racing for...
No, not really street racing. Yeah, well, let's call it alley racing.
Yeah, okay, right.
But we could throw it on my buddy's pickup and we could take it out.
Okay.
Had a friend with money, always had the latest thing. Had a Vespa when I met him. And one day he had to change a couple of cables and wasn't going to take the gas tank out. And spent 2 days trying to thread that thing through.
Right. Yeah, done with those.
So he sold it and got an SX. And today, I still know him, of course. I got him on Facebook. So he can remember the exact price he paid, where he got it, and all that stuff.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, SX 200. There's this old guy riding. I was 2 years older than him.
Yeah.
Riding alongside him with an LI Series 1. Still.
Yeah.
What was the for the LI? What did you end up turning that? What displacement did you end up converting it to?
Because
that 125, or what did you get it to?
I went up. I think I got. I actually when I altered the head to make a bigger hemispherical, I did it on the lathe. Then traditionally, you put a piece of glass over it, and you get a burette, and you drip oil in through the hole to measure the amount till it's exactly full, and then Right. I did it another way. I cast wax into it and shaved it off to the top of the cylinder, then warmed the cylinder head and warmed the cylinder head, took it out and dropped it into, I didn't have a burette, but I did have a big glass jar with measurements on the side.
Right.
And I think it was like 120 cc. It wasn't much over.
Okay.
I did more increase in the compression. I skimmed the bottom of the barrel a little bit. And I used to make my own gaskets out of 14 thou copper, which I still do.
Right.
And you throw away that 39 thou, the 1 millimeter copper, the aluminum gasket that comes with it now.
Right.
And I actually sanded the head down on a piece of broken glass off a mirror, so it was absolutely flat.
Yeah.
And you could glue it on. My friend glued his on. We used to have old radiator paint that was silver paint, but basically it was ground up aluminum in oil.
Right.
And it hardened off really well. If you use linseed oil, it's a natural varnish, you know.
Yeah.
And that thing would glue your head down really good.
Yeah. Kind of form your own gasket.
Yeah. And I had to, when I used the head off the Yamaha, I think it was now, I remember, the 4 holes in it, I had to plug them up and put new holes in.
Okay.
And the reason I had to plug them up was because the one hole almost intersected the other one, so I had to plug those. And then turn the outside down, then turn all the vanes down to make sure I could get it into the air-cooled cylinder head.
Yeah, and the cylinder was off a...
It was off a Bultaco, I think.
Okay.
And I seem to remember...
But it was probably 125 for Bultaco,
some,
or was it, or do you remember what displacement it was? Or
I don't I just remember.
Because a lot of it does, bore and stroke, so to figure
The original idea, which didn't work out, was to use one off a BSA Bantam. But... because I did have a BSA Bantam. I was building one when I got my first scooter. And the reason I got the scooter was most of my friends had motorcycles. An awful lot of my friends, they made 9 bikes in Birmingham. So everybody had a bike of some kind. I didn't want a bike. I didn't want to be one of them greasy guys I used to see in the cafe, you know.
Yeah, right. A rocker.
Yeah, a rocker. Yeah, we used to go to espresso bars, coffee shops, and hang out. And these guys would all go to these sandwich places, you know. Ton-up boys. They would race from Birmingham to... The M1 was 100 miles from Birmingham to London. Halfway down was a giant flyover. And I've forgotten what the name of the town was. But anyway, you get to this flyover and it's a big cafe, so they'd all drink coffee and then race back. Okay. So 2 hours later, you'd see them back at the cafe.
That's funny.
Ton-up boys.
That's kind of the idea. I think like Ace Cafe that's over there or something.
The Ace Cafe is on the ring road in London.
Right.
Yeah.
That's been there forever. And
I've been there a couple of times.
A rocker hangout kind of, I guess, from the day.
Right.
Cool. That's so wild. And so this is all absolutely.
So you had scooters in for I guess
it's pretty cool.
8 years or something. You kind of had scooters in England, probably somewhere around there.
Pretty much from 50. Well, 58, I got my first one in 58.
Yeah,
and I rode it till I want to say June '69 when I came over here.
Yeah. Okay.
And I actually was always going to sell it, and I wanted to go to somebody who would take care of it, not some asshole who was going to run it into a wall. So I ended up not selling it. I gave it to a friend of mine who said he would sell it, and later on he sent me the money. The same with the car that I had. I had an old Ford that I had made a fiberglass front for and everything. He sold that the same way. He told me he still sees it.
Oh, really?
On the freeway once in a while.
What was the Ford? Do you remember what it was?
Yes, it was a 1936 Ford Anglia.
Yeah, okay.
E93A engine.
Yeah.
Flathead. They don't even have a water pump on. They just boil water up through the pipe. It's called a thermosiphon. And into the top of the radiator and drips through.
Right.
And
of course, these Fords were very different than the Fords they sold here in the United States.
Oh, yeah. When they sold that, they did sell that one here. It was called the Ford Poplar in England.
Okay, Ford Popular,
right. Here.
Which was really popular.
Yeah, and
over there.
A lot of hot rodders modded those things here.
Right.
So I made a whole fiberglass front end with the fenders and everything all in one piece for mine. They made a big hinge for the front.
Wow, that's cool.
I've got photographs of it. Hinged it up and down. I ended up doing the rear fenders and the trunk lid.
Yeah.
And by then it was time to come here.
Right.
I actually applied. One day I was in London, and some guys I'd met, and they said, "Oh, come on down. We got a big apartment over an old pub." So I went down to meet them one weekend. Got there on Friday afternoon, and with another friend of mine, 2 of us went, and there's a big clamour later on downstairs. Somebody's setting up instruments, and the guy said, "Oh, there's going to be a band here tonight. We'll go down and see them." Anyway, that was the Who.
Yeah. Wow.
And
that's cool.
and Pete was introducing his new geezer from Shepherd's Bush, who was going to be the singer.
Right.
And, I saw him again at I think Hammersmith Palais de Danse.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I saw the Who.
That's cool. And they're actually called the Who then, and it was
they were still called. They were called the Who. They probably did have a name and a couple of different members at one time before that. Right. Almost everybody did.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I remember a story. Well, this is totally different, but Jethro Tull starting off, they just go to a gig every night and be called a different name, and then when they finally hit it, they stuck with that. That ended up happened to be the name they had for that night. So,
well, I heard
for Jethro Tull, just a totally separate thing.
Right.
But stuff happened like that. I'm sure
I heard a story.
For the Beatles, I don't know.
They had some really oddball name, the Who group.
Yeah,
and they would say who they were, and somebody would go, "Who?"
The Who, right? So that's how that stuck. Yeah,
called the Who.
Right. You're telling us about a trip to Italy too that you had.
Oh yeah, I took my girlfriend to Italy in I want to say 64, probably 65, and
girlfriend and later wife.
Yeah, the same girl. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's still around somewhere.
In England.
No,
probably,
she's
she moved
up in
over
Washington. She married my doctor about 26 years ago.
Okay. Here we go.
We won't get into that story.
Exactly. Right, okay.
But so Italy, so you...
So I went to Italy, and it was kind of dull. It was a seaside... It was Cattolica and Rimini we stayed in on the northern Adriatic. And every night, all these German and British tourists would go to fake German and British pubs. And I found that kind of boring, so I started talking to the waiters. There were primarily four waiters in the hotel. We're out all young guys.
They spoke some English, or you spoke?
No, they all spoke English because they were a band in the winter, and they would come to England.
All right, okay.
And they said they would write to me, and anyway, we got to hanging out together. So they had scooters, so we rented a scooter.
Right.
Even though I didn't have a driving license to show, and I had no insurance when I got it, nobody seemed bothered with that. Yeah. And we rode every night.
Do you remember what scooters they were? With a Vespa or Lambrettas?
We rented a Vespa.
Yeah. Okay.
And rode everywhere on it.
Yeah.
So after that, every night we had somewhere different to go. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Cool.
And we then saw those guys when I totally forgot about them. Get this card, and I forgot what the band was called now. But they were going to be appearing at this place in Liverpool called the Cavern.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think they realized it was 200 miles in the winter and it was pouring with rain. So I borrowed a car off my buddy and we drove up there in the pouring rain.
Right.
We got to this little place with the door so small you had to duck your head to get in. It's an old wine cellar or something.
Yeah, right.
And I think the second band on were...
the Beatles?
They were called the Quarrymen, I think.
Quarrymen.
First time we saw them. Yeah, only for a few months,
Wow.
Right. So, and they had Pete Best was their drummer, I remember.
Yeah.
He had a different haircut to the rest of them. And they'd just come back from Germany.
Okay.
So, they were wearing leather jackets and they had the old teddy boy haircut curled up in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pete Best had a different haircut.
So you just happened to see the Quarrymen?
Yeah, happened to see the Quarrymen.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty... It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty insane, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of groups come from North England or the Midlands. And like
Liverpool,
there was two guys in my grammar school class who had a band that made 2 hit records in, I want to say the 60s, and they were called the Fortunes. Okay. And a couple of them died a few years ago.
I mean, British Invasion, that was huge, 60. I mean, God, there's so many, You just keep going on and on.
One of my buddies worked at Coventry Radiator, so every Saturday night, him and another guy and 3 girls, we would go out together to a different place. My local band were the Yardbirds, Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton. Yeah. They played at an old pub on the Ulster Road from Ulster to Birmingham to Ulster.
Cool. Yeah.
And this particular night, my buddy worked at Coventry Radiator. He was a plumber, and he said, one of the guys I work with, another plumber, is singing tonight at this pub in Coventry. So we drove there, it was 20 miles. So we all piled into this car, this old, it was an old limo one of my friends had. I think it was a hearse.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
And the guy, we all got this big, we got a table in there.
Don't worry about the coffin in the back.
And 2 girls came over and started talking to us, and they said they were the backup singers. They were called Sonny and Sue. My buddy said there were a couple of scrubbers. They were real short. And the guy...
Scrubbers, what are scrubbers?
It's an old word for...
ugly?
No,
prostitute?
They weren't really ugly. They were short and chubby and nondescript girls, you know.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
It's a derogatory term.
Yeah.
Anyway,
not so much like a hag or something.
I'm trying to think of the singer's name. He came over and we laughed at him because he had American cowboy boots painted red, white, and blue, which we thought was really funny.
Yeah.
And he was kind of a spastic guy. Now, who would that be?
Do you have any ideas, Kevin?
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker.
Oh,
Wow.
It was Joe Cocker.
Wow.
And these were his two girls who were his backing singers. So, yeah, that was he worked at Coventry Radio, I guess. So my buddy knew him, so that's the only time I ever saw him. But once in a while, you'd bump into somebody who later became famous or was famous.
Right.
You know, a good friend of mine who was had a small jazz band. He now owns Big Bear Records, which is a very large record company in England. Sponsors jazz festivals and all that because that was his thing, and he played trumpet. His name was Jim Simpson, and he had a band called the New Magnolia Jazz Band, and that was him on trumpet, Pete York on drums, Muff Winwood on guitar, and his 16-year-old brother Steve Winwood playing an old upright piano. And they used to have to. Most pubs in England had a big old assembly room over the top, so when enough people got together, you could have a dance, you know.
Yeah, right.
And they used to have to smuggle him in because you had to be 18, and he had a baby face, you know.
Wow.
So,
yeah, so he looked 18.
Yeah.
Or, under 18.
He looked 16.
Yeah, he looked 16.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Right.
Well, we can mention this a little bit. We don't want to get into it, but your brother-in-law, actually.
Yeah, I have a brother-in-law who's an actor. My sister's an actress.
So you've had a pretty good, run-in with celebrities and other stuff. So
if you hang out with an actor who's actively acting, I mean, sometimes he's in Jonathan Pryce is his name. Sometimes he's in England, sometimes he's here.
Which is one of my favorite movies. Brazil. I mean, that's like my top 5 favorite movies.
My favorite movies.
I love Terry Gilliam, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, I've met Terry. He's a really neat guy.
Yeah.
He's very off the wall.
Right.
I went to see a play that my sister and my brother-in-law were playing. There's only 4 people in this play, and it was written by the guy who wrote Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and he only died a couple of years ago. Edward something or other. I met him.
Yeah.
And everybody had to wear either a lounge suit or a tuxedo, and it was done at a rebuilt theatre that only seated 200 in Islington. Yeah. It's called the Almeida Theatre. Okay. And later on it went to the West End for 6 months. But my brother-in-law and my sister were both playing an American couple in it, and there's 2 other people in it. One was a reporter, and one is their gay son, who was played by Eddie Redmayne, who's quite famous right now. He's in The Danish Girl, that's out right now as we speak. And he had the most beautiful girlfriend I ever saw in my life. So, one time I asked my sister, is Eddie still with that girl? And she said, sadly, no. She got away. But and anyway, I was just saying, Terry Gilliam was there. So I saw him at the top of a staircase with his long-suffering wife, Kathleen. She's a beautiful lady. And he's wearing a World War II bomber jacket, a British one, so it's all sheepskin and fur, and jeans.
Right.
And everybody else is in a tux.
Right. They gave him some little leeway, though, probably. Cause
I'm wearing black pants and a borrowed Armani jacket that I got off John.
Right.
And it wasn't just an Armani jacket. It was one from the Armani Emporium when he was filming Tomorrow Never Dies. They did part of it in Rome. He was the head bad guy in that. So he bought it at the Armani Emporium.
Wow, yeah. Well, it wasn't custom made for him, or could have been.
No, he just bought it off the rack.
Off the rack, yeah. No, that's all, yeah. But it's probably still a couple $1,000 jacket or something.
I gave it to a friend of mine, like last year, a friend of mine who writes scripts and is hoping to be rich and famous one day, Ken Calloway.
Oh, yeah.
And, ingenious guy. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember the one story, too. I think you're at his place, and Gordon Sumner, you met, like, in the elevator or something.
Yeah. John did Miss Saigon for a year in London and a year in New York. And both him and Sting were in a movie together. They both had small parts, and it was called The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which was done by Terry Gilliam.
Also, right.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite
So
movies.
They knew each other. So when John was looking for an apartment for a year in New York, Sting said, "You can have mine." He said, what's his wife's name? Trudy.
Sting.
Trudy and I just had a new baby, and the place is getting too small. And as I recall, it was off the end of West Broadway somewhere on a corner. And I got in the elevator one day. I was walking around the town there. I got in the elevator. It's a little small 3-story. It was an old factory from the 1880s. And the guy gets in with me, and he said, "Are you Kate's brother?" And I said, "Yeah." And then I noticed he's going to the same apartment as me. And then I thought, he said, "Hi, I'm Gordon." And I never even thought about it. Gordon Sumner is Sting. You know?
Yeah, right.
And it was his apartment. So
that's funny.
Yeah, big rambling old place. It was great. Central fireplace.
Yeah, you've met some awesome people. And
I met them all through John and Kay from just hanging out with them. People would come up and ask for his autograph all the time, which I thought was kind of awesome, you know.
Yeah, right.
So,
that's cool.
I'm getting ready to ask for yours, actually.
I know, almost, yeah.
These are some great stories. I'm sure you've got a million of them. We look forward
I did want to get in touch on the scooters he owns now really quick, though, because he has the LD. They're Highland customized.
That's where I'm going with this now.
Okay, go.
Alex and I are going to argue over what we're going to talk about next right now. So right now,
fight over asking Kevin questions.
Exactly. So you recently took delivery of a GTS 300.
I did indeed.
That's like the first new vehicle you've had in like 20 years or something.
And I just got 600 miles on it.
Yeah.
And I got my first oil change, and I rode to Ducati on it 2 weeks ago with Emilio.
And then you're going on another Baja trip.
And I'm going on the ride to San Felipe in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah, fantastic. And you are enjoying that scooter?
Oh, hell, it's outside. Tell me about it. Yeah, I wrote it down.
But the things that really turned us on to you is early on is your Lambretta LDs. You would bring these to us every other week with some sort of minor change to it where, oh, look what I did. It's like I took it apart and I did this and then I put it back together.
And we're not talking about bolt-on stuff. We're talking about something made from scratch.
No. This is all made from scratch. I made this out of leather. I made this out of brass. I made this out of copper.
Yeah. And windshields.
And windshields.
Yeah, and old windshields and
made
all that.
Made those in the oven at home in Ocean Beach.
You know. Fantastic. So the first LD that you got here was about 10 years ago, I think.
No, probably about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay,
and I got into scootering, and I started with a frame that I got off a guy in I want to say Santee, and I worked on that for about 6 months, and then I wasn't into computers, but a friend of mine found that guy on his computer on Facebook, and then he called me one time and said, the same guy who's got a beat-up bike with a decent engine in now, you want to go over and look at it? So ended up with an engine and a frame and a pink slip that was registered with the number of the engine, not the frame, oddly enough. Okay. But anyway, it was a good thing.
That's another LD?
Yeah, that was my first LD. It was a Series 3, put it all together, eventually got racks and made leather bag, a round one for the back and a square one for the front, as you said, with brass fittings. Yeah. And I made a windshield by making a sheet metal re-entrant curve mold, which I put in the oven and put a piece of plexiglass on the top of it, roughly cut to shape, and then shaped that afterwards.
Yeah, mold it in the oven.
And I got 6 different... I want to say prizes. What do you call them when you win something? An award. I got one here.
Yeah, trophies for different scooter events and stuff. Yeah. It always wins Best Lambretta, but yeah.
First time I ever went with Emilio up to the Long Beach Classic, not plastic. And he won the year before, and he said, you're going to win something. I said, I've never won anything in my life. And he said, no, I know you'll win. Yeah. And sure enough, I got the Best Lambretta there. And there's like 200 bikes outside that.
Right, there was actually some competition.
Yeah, a lot.
And a lot of Lambrettas, too.
Yeah.
So.
Some Japanese guy wanted me to took the panels off and photographed every tiny little bit of that thing because it was all clean and painted there.
Right. You know? And it had a lot of cool custom stuff on there, too. So
yeah. And out of the parts I had left over by buying another wreck, I built another one, which I still have. It's a 150, and it's kind of stage 1 tuned. And I modified the back end, and I have plans to modify it further. I added.
Don't you have like a Series 3 motor you're going to try to fit in there, right?
Oh, that's the one I got now.
Okay.
That's the other bike that I ride kind of 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah. That's my vintage bike now. Okay. And I wanted it to look like an LD, and originally it did. But I couldn't get the gearing to work right on the handlebar. I couldn't get enough throw on.
Okay.
Because it has I bought a new Indian GP engine, put that in. Okay. And to do that, I used half an old SX frame that Emilio gave me out of a wreck, and I welded the
section the back onto the front, kind of,
and used LD panels, and it still has LD side panels, an LD seat frame, and the leg shield. But I had them to make the top end, to make the gearing work properly. I ended up putting a Series 2 headset on it that I got last year at the at a little swap meet they had at the Vegas show. Yeah, and it's half of it I rattle canned, and the other half you guys did for me. The black, that came out really well. Yeah, and it runs great right now. I have to change one jet in it. I have a 24mm JetX carbon, which everybody laughed at,
Yeah.
but works fine. It just needs, it's got a 122 jet in it, it needs a 125.
Yeah.
And Esteban today told me he has one, and so I'll probably ride down to his shop on Monday,
Cool.
pick that
Get it
up,
all
throw that
tuned,
in.
and hopefully it'll be all
Yeah.
purring along. Nice.
And then I have a bike I call my Tweety bike. I have a
Elite 250.
Yeah.
Elite 250.
There was a
Like,
South-
no, what year is that? 80.
It's 58. No, 85.
85. Yeah.
85.
For the Honda Elite. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
58 for the LDs.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Cool.
Got it.
And it's a salvage build, and I painted it
Right.
bright. Actually, ended up painting it yellow. It was plastic paneled, and I wasn't sure regular paint would stick to it, so I bought plastic paint, and it's kind of a dull finish.
Right.
But it's very durable. It knocks
Yeah.
around, not very shiny
Right.
or anything.
Yeah.
And it dries like a bat out of hell. So,
Yeah, right.
you know,
Well, Elite 250s always, those were fast bikes.
Yeah,
Right.
lightweight, powerful.
Yeah, for the time, yeah.
Yeah.
well, so now I have a 300, a 250, a 200, and a 150.
Right, nice, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. It's kind of crowded in my...
And you don't have a car, I don't think, right?
I
No.
don't,
Yeah, you
no.
do not own a car right now.
No.
So.
I had a pickup truck. I had
Right.
a really nice Nissan that I had for 22 years, put
Yeah.
266,000
Yeah.
miles on.
Right.
That's how it's done.
Very
That's how it's
recommendable.
done.
Yeah.
That's how it's done.
Yeah.
Forget all this. Replace your car every 5 years. No way.
Yeah.
Drive them and drive them
Keep
and
it
drive
going.
them.
And then replace them all with scooters.
Exactly.
Replace it all with scooters.
Exactly.
Okay, well, cool. Anything else you want to add?
No, I can think of. Have you got any questions?
I think we got through them all, actually.
No,
Okay.
we got- yeah. We're going through our cheat sheets and everything, and
Yeah,
it looks like
I think
we've
we're good.
covered pretty much everything.
That was great.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to my
Cool.
ride to San Felipe
Yeah.
with you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a rather long ride, and I got no meat left on my ass, so
Yeah.
I kind of goes to sleep after.
We went Sunday. We had a kind of team building
I
thing in
heard about
Baja.
that,
Yeah, and
yeah.
we went a couple hundred miles.
I can't believe how much food I ate.
Yeah, it was
So
pretty
much.
fun. We had a good
So
time.
much.
Good.
We'll probably have a little video up of that on YouTube pretty soon. And
Yeah.
Scott took some good footage, and Bo, a friend of ours, like had this new little. I called it a fancy selfie stick, but it was like a $300 selfie stick that had little gyros in it. And
Wow.
the footage looks incredible.
Aren't those
Does
things
it?
illegal? That's obvious.
This is a little
No,
short
no.
one though. This is mostly like a little gyro thing. So
Yeah.
Scott could probably explain it better.
Expandable ePay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kevin, we got some stuff
we got
coming
a couple
up,
little
guys.
segments.
All right, so speaking about the Who, that was a great story about the Who. They're actually they're doing their.
What was the
50-year
original name of the Who? What was it?
The High Numbers.
The High Numbers.
Yeah. They are doing their 50-year anniversary, May 25th. So in the greater Southern California area, they'll be here May 25th. I'm going to be going to that show in Los Angeles with my best friend Pat.
We're going to the San Diego one, May 27th.
You are May 27th.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome.
Like TC, me.
Well, that you know
I
what
think we have
that
a couple.
show's going to suck because
I
it's
know.
not the 25th.
Well, it's actually at the sports arena too, so the sound's not all that awesome there. So
I don't know if
I'm
that's
sure.
true.
You're
I'm sure
at
that
the
show's
Hollywood Bowl. Where's the LA show at?
I think it's at the Bowl, dude.
Yeah, that's nice. It
Yeah,
sounds
it's gonna be
perfect
nice.
there.
So then we got on May 29th in Las Vegas. That sounds like that would be off the chain as well. Only because that's where Entwistle died, so why not? You know, Entwistle died in Las Vegas, man,
Yeah.
doing what he loved,
Right.
hookers and blow.
Only way to
So
go.
there
Yeah,
you
only
go.
way to go.
That is the way to do it, man. So and then
June 11th.
yeah, June 11th, the Isle of Wight.
Wow, that would be.
And what's
pretty
really
insane.
interesting, yeah, because
Scooter rally going on at the same time.
Exactly. No, actually, the Isle of Wight show that they did, the Isle
That's
of
Isle-
Wight
yeah.
festival. So here's the significance of that. Like a couple weeks after the Isle of Wight back in '73 or whatever, when Keith Moon died, that was one of his last shows that he did.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a video on it and all that stuff that you can see on there, but that's like one of his last shows.
Yeah.
Right there. So, anyways, that's the significance of that.
Okay.
And I just thought it'd be interesting because this is the internet, and the
Right.
internet goes.
People-
That's what WWW
people listen to
stands
us
for.
everywhere.
World Wide Web.
Yeah.
So there you
So
go.
if you're near in England in Isle of Wight near the
Yeah.
June 11th, you should
Cool.
check out the Who.
Yeah. So something else we want to talk about is, Vespas are used in movies all the time. They look good standing still. They look good moving. They're sexy little beasts. So I took the liberty of kind of like looking up a couple of Vespa movies. And just get ready. Here's a short list of movies that
This
you
is
might.
and this is the beauty of the internet now. Is if you're Netflix or where it's so
Yeah.
easy to like track these things
Yeah,
down.
and just get to the point where it's
Yeah, and you can fast forward it.
yeah.
Be kind, rewind.
Exactly. So everybody knows Roman Holiday. That's the one that kind of like it sticks in everybody's head, and it's but there's also another one that's called Caro Diario, and that one actually came out in 1993, and like the first 25 minutes of the movie is just this guy cruising around his neighborhood, just running around, cruising around on his Vespa. And it's like
I think it's a
GTR.
I think it is a GTR 125.
Yeah, GTR 125.
That's really cool. Yeah, he's just basically like looking at architecture, houses, just cruising along around.
Yeah, and he gets on a boat and all that stuff. And then we have La Dolce Vita from 1960.
Classic, right.
And a lot of this is I'm going to completely
butcher the name,
it, but because I didn't have a
Rocco E.
Yeah, Rocco E. Suo Fratelli, and that is from 1960. I apologize for that pronunciation; that was horrible. Absolute Beginners, 1986. That's got David Bowie in it. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
And that's GS 150.
Sick GS 150. And what's cool is that it actually, when you listen to it, like the sound effects and stuff like that, it sounds proper. Yeah, exactly. It sounds really, really cool. Good Morning Vietnam.
It actually has a Messerschmitt in that movie too. Actually, a little KR 200.
Oh, cool, nice. Yeah. So, Good Morning Vietnam with more dead people.
Robin Williams.
Okay, check this out. Absolute Beginners. David Bowie, deceased. Good Morning Vietnam. Robin Williams, unfortunately deceased. Talented Mr. Ripley. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Okay.
Is in that movie. American Pie. That is from 1999. I don't know in American Pie. I don't know what that's in.
It seems like someone just pulls up in the front or something. I can't remember it exactly.
That's American Graffiti.
Respiro,
2002. The Interpreter. From 2005, and that one's actually pretty rad because that's got Nicole Kidman. Yeah, just all day on the scooter. That's her transpo.
Yes,
in that one, and she's hot. So there you go. Paprika, I'm gonna assume is awesome because that's from 2007.
Ratatouille is cool.
Yeah, Ratatouille,
scooter running around,
and then The American.
That is rad. The little chase scene in it. He like lays it down. That sound of the cowl skidding along is like perfect. So yeah, have you seen it or have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Oh, it's really cool.
Is it
it's
the
like
one,
a PX or something?
Is it the one with
God, what's his name? He was actually did he play Batman even? And,
George Clooney.
George Clooney. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
it's really cool actually because
the scene is really cool.
Yeah. You could probably even YouTube the scene or something.
Because the movie's garbage.
Of course.
No, the movie is garbage. I mean, I was like, what are they doing?
It's my favorite movie of all time, Kevin.
And then the one that I love the most is actually American Graffiti from 1973. Yeah. I mean, this is a George Lucas film produced by Francis Ford Coppola. And in the first couple minutes of the opening credits, the opening scenes, there's a 1962 GS 160 that makes a memorable entrance. Super amazing. And if you know anything, this movie is supposed to take place in the summer of 1962, so the bike is technically brand new.
Yeah, right.
And Toad's riding it.
Yeah, Toad. Yeah,
Toad. Yeah, exactly.
His little mishap.
So there's that. Yeah,
we won't spoil it. Won't spoil it for you if you haven't.
I'd like to add a movie too.
Yeah,
sure. Bring It On actually has some locals.
That's true. San Diego State.
It was filmed at San Diego State.
That's right.
And I think Caesar is in it, and
I don't know if you Steve
Aldana.
Steve Aldana. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And my girlfriend Kelly is actually in one scene as an extra.
Oh, that's cool. And you own the guitar.
And I own a
guitar.
I somehow ended up with a guitar that was a prop in that movie.
I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you still have that guitar? Yeah.
There was somebody.
You found out at Kobe's.
Who it was one of the prop.
Prop
masters for that movie, and so there was like ugly things posters on the kids' wall.
Right.
And
cool. That's rad. So you get all
some local.
Actually, there was the
Tiger
Tiger Woods story too that was filmed here, and I think I don't know if Robot was actually in there, but I think Caesar's in that one again too, like riding around like little China hat on and stuff, like in Vietnam, but it's like a P200 in Vietnam in the 60s.
It's a P200.
I don't know if you can even find that movie. I think it was a TV special or something.
It's a P200 in Vietnam in the 60s, filmed at Balboa Park.
Oh,
exactly.
and Alex's very own T5 in the episode
in
of
Renegade.
Renegade.
We actually rode that in Renegade. Yeah,
and
it got crashed in Renegade.
Yep, so great, so great. Yeah, so look at that.
And then the last one, Jessica here too. That one's really hard to find. I've actually Maybe I've seen it as a kid, but I don't know if you can actually find it. If anyone can find that, let us know. Post something on Facebook or something.
Dude, it's Angie Dickinson.
I don't think it's on DVD. I don't know if you can even find it on Netflix or stream
Angie
it or
Dickinson
anything.
in her prime.
There's some YouTube cuts
cute.
of it, but
Such a cutie.
But she rides a little VBA all through it. So
Yeah.
so we're running a little over time almost on this one. That's good. Giveaway, Kevin.
Okay, let's do it. Here comes the giveaway. Kevin, this gets a little confusing for the people who are.
Oh yeah.
So I'm Kevin 1. You could be. I'll be Kevin 2. You're Kevin number 1.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool. Beauty before age. Beauty
Works for
before
me.
age. All right. So, Kevin, what we do is we usually do a giveaway. Okay, and what we'd like to do is we're going to give you, as being a guest today, we're going to give you one of the giveaway gifts today. Not one of these used ones here.
Hey, it works for me.
There's stuff in there. So.
Yeah.
I already got it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
gave it to him, yeah.
All right. Cool. Awesome. All right. So thanks so much for sharing all that cool information, man. It's pretty great.
Anytime.
All right. So here it comes, people. Write this down.
Write this down.
Okay, you ready? Number 2 pencil. The first 5 people who post on our Vespa Motorsport Facebook page under the Episode 9 podcast. Episode 9 podcast.
You will be graded on this, by the way. So.
Exactly. Posting with the answer to this question. In Episode 2 with Fabio. What year did Fabio open Vespa and Moped Repair? What year did Fabio open Vespa and Moped Repair? And how old was he?
And don't give the answers because I have them on here.
Okay. And then...
you don't need to move. He moved this in.
Okay, cool. With these first 5, with these correct answers, you'll get the mug and
welcome pack.
And a welcome pack. Okay. If you want to get an idea of what the mug looks like, visit our website.
And we do have these on sale right now too. If you don't want one, $9.49. These are originally $12.95.
So yeah,
nice. They're big. They're 22 ounce. I think those are.
Yeah, they're big.
They're big coffee mugs.
Exactly.
Copper. And if you're this will cost a little bit to ship to Canada. So I think we'd have to put in an envelope or something. So it may.
Yeah, exactly. So it might get a little. So
make it a little broken. We'll have the tube of super glue in there.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just smash it down a little bit.
We'll keep it to the U.S. only actually for this one because these are heavy. Yeah, it'll cost a lot to ship that.
So, anyways, that's what we're looking at. So, if you want a better view of the mug itself, we're going to scooterwest.com. You're putting in MUG01. That's mug01. Take a look at that, and if that's something that you're interested in, please get involved with with our giveaways. And once again, thanks to everybody who's subscribing on YouTube. And also on iTunes.
SoundCloud, it's still on.
SoundCloud. Yeah. So we got episode 10 coming up. It's going to be amazing. And so keep sharing it. Keep sharing the love. Keep on riding.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for coming in. Those are awesome stories.
More than welcome, guys. Anytime.
That was really cool stories, actually, hearing that stuff.
Well, thank you, too.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott.
I guess cue Buckfast Super B again, right?
Yeah.
And if you're here in San Diego, Casbah, April.
The Casbah.
April 30th, Casbah.
April 30th, Casbah.
And Kevin's actually a bass player in that band. So
come on out, and
support local music.
if you like it, just please, just tell a friend,
All right. Cue the music.
Cool.
Scott.
Ciao.